Hello students, moving on to the next chapter under part A, that is planning. In this video session, we will be studying about meaning of planning and importance of planning. So let us first understand what exactly is planning. According to a famous Chinese philosopher Confucius, a man who does not plan along ahead will find trouble at his door. So it's always good to plan ahead. Every organization, whether it is government owned, a privately owned business, or a company, it requires planning. All business firms would like to be successful, increase their sales, and earn profits. And all managers dream of these and strive to achieve their goals. But to turn these dreams into reality, managers need to work hard in thinking about the future and also in making the business predictions and achieving the targets. And these dreams can be turned into reality only if business managers think in advance on what to do and how to do. Planning is deciding in advance what to do and how to do. It is one of the basic managerial functions. Before doing something, the manager must formulate an idea of how to work on a particular task. Planning is closely connected with creativity and innovation. But the manager would first have to set objectives, only then he will know where he has to go. So, one of the best ways to define planning is setting objectives for a given time period, formulating various courses of action to achieve them, and then selecting the best possible alternative from among the various courses of action that are available. I repeat, planning involves setting objectives, formulating various courses of action, and then selecting the best alternative from various courses of action that are available. Now let us study the importance of planning one by one. First one is planning provides directions. Planning ensures that the goals or objectives are clearly stated so that they act as a guide for deciding what action should be taken and in which direction. If goals are well defined, employees are aware of what the organization has to do and what they must do to achieve those goals. If there was no planning, employees would be working in different directions and the organization would not be able to achieve its desired goals. This means that planning provides direction by deciding goals and objectives. Goals are the end results, whereas objectives are the standard targets which the employees working at different levels of organization are required to achieve. When goals and objectives are clear, the employees can focus their efforts towards achieving the target efficiently and effectively. For example, suppose a company fixes a sales target under the process of planning. All the departments, for example, purchase department, finance department, research and development department, etc., will decide their objectives in the view of sales target. So, in this way, the attention of all the managers will get focused on the attainment of their objectives. This will make the achievement of sales target in the company. The second importance of planning is planning reduces the risks of uncertainty. Planning is an activity which enables a manager to look ahead and anticipate the changes. Anticipating it's predicting. So, by deciding in advance the tasks to be performed, planning shows the way to deal with changes and uncertain events. Changes cannot be eliminated, but they can be anticipated, and managerial responses to them can be developed. It is nothing but planning is always done for future, and future is uncertain. With the help of planning, possible changes in future are predicted and various activities are planned in the best possible way, and hence risk of future uncertainties can be minimized. For example, In order to fix a sales target, a survey can be done to find out the number of new companies that are likely to enter the market. By keeping these facts in mind, planning the future activities is possible, and hence, the difficulties that may arrive in the future can be avoided. Next importance is planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. Planning serves as a basis of coordinating the activities and efforts of different divisions, departments, and individuals. It helps in avoiding confusion and misunderstanding. Since planning ensures clarity in thought and action, work is carried on smoothly without interruptions. Useless activities are eliminated. It is easier to detect the inefficiencies and take corrective measures to deal with them. This means that under planning, future activities are planned in order to achieve objectives, as a result of which the problems of when, where, what, and why are almost decided. So, this puts an end to disorder and distrust. In such a situation, coordination is established among different activities and departments. It puts an end to overlapping and wasteful activities. Wasteful activities and overlapping can be related to inventory, waiting, defects, overproduction, motion, transportation, or even overprocessing. For example, if it is decided that a particular amount of money will be required for a particular month, the finance manager will arrange for it in time. But in the absence of this information, the amount of money can be either more or less than the required amount. Now, in case if the money is less than the requirement, the work will not be completed. And if in case it is more than the requirement, the amount will remain unused, and thus it causes a loss of interest. Next importance is planning promotes innovative ideas. Since planning is the first function of management, new ideas can take the shape of concrete plans. It is the most challenging activity for the management as it guides all future actions leading to growth and prosperity of the business. We know that planning selects the best alternative among many plans available. All these alternatives do not come to the manager on their own, but they have to be discovered. And while making such an effort of discovery, many new ideas emerge and they are studied in order to get the best out of them. In this way, planning imparts a real power of thinking in the managers. That is, it gives birth to innovative and creative ideas. For example, if a company wants to expand its business, manager may think like this. That is, for example, should some other varieties of an existing products be manufactured? Or it can be like, should some branch be opened somewhere else for the existing product? Or it can be like, should some new product be launched? In this way, many new ideas will emerge one after another. Next point is planning facilitates decision making. Planning helps the manager to look into the future and make a choice among various alternative courses of action. The manager has to evaluate each alternative and select the most viable proposition. Planning involves setting targets and predicting the future conditions. We have already studied that under the variety of alternatives that are found out, the best alternative is chosen. The planning sets the target for decision making. It also lays down the criteria for evaluating the courses of action. So, in this way, planning facilitates decision making. Next importance is planning establishes standards for controlling. Planning provides the goals or standards against which actual performance is measured. By comparing actual performance with some standard, Managers can know whether they have actually been able to attain the goals. If there is any deviations, it can be corrected. Therefore, we can say that planning is a prerequisite for controlling. If there were no goals and standards, then finding the deviations would be impossible. It is nothing but standards determine the objectives of the organization through planning. Standards are laid down about the employee's work, time, and cost. Under controlling, at the time of completing the work, the actual work done is compared with the standard work. And if there are any deviations or changes, and if the work has not been done as desired, the concerned person or employee is held responsible. This lets us know that controlling involves establishment of standards, measurement of actual performance, comparison of actual performance with the standard performance, and then corrective action if necessary. For example, a laborer is to do 10 units of work in a day, but actually he completes only 8 units. So there is a difference of 2 units, and this is a negative deviation. For this, he is held responsible, and thus, in the absence of planning, controlling is not possible. Now, let us quickly recall whatever has been studied. First of all, the meaning of planning. Planning is deciding in advance what to do and how to do. It is one of the basic managerial functions. So, it involves setting up of objectives, developing an appropriate course of action to achieve these objectives. Next is importance of planning. First one is planning provides directions. That is, it ensures that goals or objectives should be clearly stated so that they act as a guide for deciding what action should be taken and in which direction. Next importance is it reduces risk of uncertainty. So this means that by deciding in advance what are the tasks to be performed, planning shows the way to deal with the changes and uncertain events. Third one is reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. So by coordinating the activities and efforts of different divisions, departments and individuals, it helps to avoid the confusions and misunderstanding. And also the useless activities are minimized. Next one is promotes innovative ideas. Planning imparts a real power of thinking in the managers, which will give birth to innovative and creative ideas. Next one is facilitates decision making. This means that planning helps in setting the targets, predicting the future conditions, and helps in taking the rational decisions. Last importance is establishes the standards for controlling. So this point involves setting up of standards, measuring the actual performance. Next is comparing the actual performance with the standard performance and taking the corrective action if necessary.